Greetings of Elijah Sunker 19. Today we're doing a 4-pile, pick a pile reading on based on the 7 chakras and affirmations for each chakra. Here we go. So what I want you to do is focus on a pile. Today we have hematite, natural citrine, amethyst, and clear quartz cluster. And what I want you to do is focus on a pile, decide which reading is for you. Take a moment, think about it. And here we go. Okay, here we go. The hematite pile. Okay, here we go. First, we have the Justice card, and our affirmation for the root chakra is I am safe. So the Justice card indicates to me is someone who stays safe based on their words, based on having balance with other people, making sure that they're getting along with other people, making sure that they're fair, someone who would really believe in karma, and someone who practices good karma. So remember, karma is about your actions. I know in our culture we think like, oh, karma is what you get back. But in truth, the real definition of karma is what energy are you putting out? So this is someone who remains safe, stays safe, does safe things based on the way they treat people, knowing that at some point the energy will come back to them. So their actions are always just. Someone who's going to play nice and play fair. So that's the way that you will relate to the world, is by being nice, by being fair, by looking out for other people and being very just. So being willing to tell the truth, someone who is honest and someone who just is overall willing to do a good job and maybe even go the extra step for other people. So that's how you stay safe and secure in the world. Up next, here we have I am vibrant, which is the sacral chakra here with a carnelian. This is a obsidian. Here we have carnelian and it's I am vibrant. So this card is a card. The Two of Swords is a reverse. It's a block card. It's like the idea of, well, not really being totally true to yourself in terms of your sexuality and your creativity, meaning that you could express your sexual nature more vibrantly, and you could really be someone who could be much more sexual and creative, but for some reason you sort of feel blocked or sort of feel stuck in that, and you can't really express how you may truly feel. And so, the advice here would be to be more honest with yourself about how you want to be creative, how you want to explore sexuality, how you want to feel vibrant, to feel like alive and sort of feel like excited about life. And so there may be some things that you've sort of been ignoring, or some things that you haven't been doing, and you feel like, well, I do want to explore some new things and try some new things, maybe do things a little bit differently, but you just haven't been willing to sort of express that or even bring that out. So by repressing yourself creatively or repressing yourself sexually, that could create a block or create a just sort of a crossroads where it's like, hey, it's time to make a decision. It's time to make a choice. Let's make a choice, and by making that choice, we can sort of heal and move this energy forward. Up next, here we have the sacral chakra, and the theme here is I am powerful. And so here we have the 9 of Pentacles reversed. So in terms of being powerful, this is someone who's very independent. So you have the ability to be very independent, but for some reason you haven't been willing to stick yourself out there and do it. Become independent, earn some more money. This 9 of Pentacles has a lot to do with being financially independent and being financially strong and being financially stable. And so here what I would say is take some time to really just sort of pat yourself on the back and say, you know what? I am strong. I am powerful. I'm someone who can stand on my own. I can become financially independent. I can become financially stable, and not only stable to the point where I can take care of myself, but really I can get to the point where I can take care of other people. And so this sort of connection here of not expressing yourself in terms of creativity and not expressing yourselves in terms of, maybe sexual exploration. And part of that is leading over to the idea of you're feeling powerful and feeling someone who's strong and independent. So there's like a two chakra thing going on here where it's like you want some energy into this, put some energy into being creative, being sexual, and being independent. So they're sort of rolling together. Up next here we have the heart chakra. It says, I am loving, with the Ace of Swords. And to me, this is about creating boundaries. I get the feeling you're a very nice person. You're helping other people. You're looking out for other people. And what the Ace of Swords says is, make sure you protect your heart. Make sure you protect your sense of how much you're going to do for other people without seeking anything in return. So generosity can be very, very healing. It can be you can be very generous, and it can help you to lead to happiness. But there becomes a point where you become too generous and really you're just getting taken advantage of. And so it's a big deal here to make sure that you're not getting taken advantage of and that things are balanced in your life. Okay, so part of this root chakra here is saying no, and it keeps you safe. When the Ace of Swords says, I want to love, I want to be loving, I want to take care of people, I want to be there for people, but I don't want to get taken advantage of. I don't want people to think that they can just treat me and do things any kind of way and then I'll just accept that. Okay, so this is a big deal. Making sure you're setting boundaries and keeping those boundaries so that your love is not being taken advantage of. Up next here with the throat chakra, we have I am truthful. And here we have the Eight of Swords. And this is a caged in type of sword, a type of card where someone is sort of boxed in and not being able to speak their truth. They're not being able to be honest with themselves and other people. So it's like, hey, maybe even this sexual piece where it's like you want to be more sexual or explore yourself more sexually, and you want to be more powerful. And this card is saying that you're not expressing that. And so because you're not expressing your sexuality, you're not expressing your potential for independence and just your strength, your overall strength, it's like you're doing a lot of boxing yourself in. It's like you're holding yourself back in like different areas of your life. And what happens is you're not speaking your truth and you're not being totally honest with yourself. How do you become more honest with yourself? How do you become more truthful in terms of expressing who you are, who you want to be, who you're developing into becoming, and really being that full-fledged person and really being like this butterfly who's totally out of the cocoon. Up next, I am guided. We have the Page of Wands reversed. And so in terms of guidance here now from this third eye chakra, it's saying, this card is saying, take more action. Your guidance is telling you take more action. There's a chance for you to have more action in your life. Be more action oriented. Go, like get things done. And so not necessarily, this is a card that's not speaking about being thoughtful or contemplating, huge, like big ideas in your mind. This card is saying, be more action oriented. You're being called to take action and you just haven't been doing it for whatever reason. And so we have various blocks in terms of just sexual energy and physical power and speaking your truth. And now finally we get to the point where you have to actually take action. So if you want to show changes along these other chakras, this third eye chakra here is saying you have to do it through your actions. You can talk about it, you can write it down, you could think about it, you could, whatever. But until you actually take real actions in your life to make changes, it's all really just like child's play in a sense. Like you got to really take the physical actions it takes. So if someone were to ask you, well, if you were someone who really spoke your truth, if you were someone who was powerful, independent, or sexually creative, or just creative in general, what would that look like? What would those actions look like? And so if you can think about the actions, like, well, if I were this type of person, I would act and behave like this. We'll start to take on those behaviors. Like, oh, well, I would be, willing to, I don't know, do more creative activities or to be more sexually exploring or explore sexually, whatever the case may be. Or someone who literally just spoke and told people, listen, I'm someone who does this. I believe that. I'm building and growing in these ways. And so I'm willing to take action to move in that direction. And last, here we have the crown chakra. I am connected. Here we have the Page of Swords. And this card is a call to writing, a card to be more creative in expressing yourself. So this is writing and spoken word. or it could even be something like blogging, or something like maybe having a YouTube channel. But the way that you're going to be connected to yourself and other people is through your communication skills. Okay, so a big way for you, especially a lot of swords, there's a lot of swords in these pictures, has a lot to do with the way you communicate, has a lot to do with the way you speak, the way you connect with other people. So you probably are someone who is very communicates very well through speech and written text, and you can create yourself. You can express yourself in a creative way by taking action. But part of the action could be by writing. So you're taking action as far as sitting down to a computer, or finding a crowd of some sort, starting a podcast. Do what you got to do to be creative expression, but do it through your actions. Okay, so don't like think about it and never do any actions on it. So I get a big sense that you're someone who could be very creative, someone who could be very like mentally strong and has a lot of great ideas, but a lot of those ideas stay inside of your head and they don't actually ever get expressed. And so what I would say is find a way through your physical actions, whether it's speech, writing, some kind of way, to get your creative thoughts out to the world so that you can connect with other people, and you'll be able to connect to like really your higher self, but also a community of some sort. So there may be a small group or even a large crowd that you can really have these creative and expressive ideas to share with, and you'll be able to take that crowd and really be able to like show and express who you really are. And as you start to really get these ideas out, and the more you write, the more you have to write. So it sort of becomes like a pump, like you prime it. It's like, oh, I did a little bit of writing, got a little bit of feedback, a little bit of writing, got a little bit of feedback. And the more writing and more speaking or whatever it is you're doing with your creative voice, the more it gets expressed, the more you'll actually have to say. So people think, oh, well, I'm going to run out of things to say. Like, oh, you know, I'm only going to write 2 blogs and be done. It's like, no. You're going to write 2 blogs and find 2 more. And then you'll write 2 more and find 5 more. It's like the creative art, it sort of fuels itself. And so what I would say for you to do is use your creative expression to fuel whatever it is, these ideas that you want to get out and really express to yourself and to a larger community at whole. I'm Elijah Card 19. Thanks for letting me read for you. Thanks for choosing this pile. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button. Make sure you comment, subscribe, and make sure you share this to other people. Appreciate you being here. Peace. Okay, next up here we have the Natural Citrine pile. So if you chose this pile, this is your reading. Okay, here we go. So here with the root chakra, we have the theme of I am safe, and we have the death card reverse. And so this card would be a great example of not feeling safe, not feeling comfortable in your environment, in your life. And so there may be some real like a sense of vulnerability that you're not used to, maybe a sense of being seen, something you're like you are becoming part of an environment where you maybe feel exposed and unsafe. And so the death card reverse to me says you're being called to level up in some kind of way. You're being called to transition in some kind of way in terms of getting better at something, or becoming more strong and courageous as a person. Like you're being called to be courageous. And for some reason, you don't want to answer that call. You sort of feel like, well, I want to stay where I'm at. And, you know, you can probably find 8 or 9 or 10 reasons why you sort of feel like you don't want to be safe and you don't want to level up and you don't want to go to the next level for whatever reason. And so, but what I want you to do is overcome those excuses, overcome those fears, get to a point where you're really ready and really willing to level up and go to the next level, because for some reason you sort of decided in your mind that your environment is dangerous and you may not necessarily be safe. And so you have to overcome that, because you can either change your environment at all times, continuously changing your environment, or you could level up and change yourself. And so I feel like you're being called to become more courageous. You're being called to become really a bigger person, a stronger person, so that you can feel more safe in your environment and you can feel more safe in any environment. And so this is sort of a sense of leveling up. Like, you know what? Either the whole world can change and bend to me, or I can become more courageous, and then the world won't seem so scary. Here we have, I am vibrant with the sacral chakra. This is the root chakra, sacral chakra. And this is a snowflake obsidian, and this is a carnelian. And so with this reading here, with this sacral chakra is, I am vibrant. Here we have the 5 of Swords. And so I feel like in your sexual and creative life, I get a sense that you're not trusting someone. So maybe it's a sexual partner, maybe it's a creative partner or a business partner of some sort, but there's someone that you're working with, and I feel like you don't really trust them, and you haven't been honest about that. And you haven't really told people or told yourself really that, you know what, I don't feel safe. I don't feel like I trust this person. And so my creative and sexual energies are on guard, and they don't feel like I can really express myself because I'm more worried about some type of blowback or some type of, something coming back and sort of being in the way, or someone using my creative ideas or using my sexual ideas against me, where it's like I can't really be fully expressed. I'm always on guard. I'm always wondering like, well, if I say this thing, or if I do this thing wrong, or if I express this in the wrong way, this person is going to end up using this information against me. And so this is a great time to really look at it and say, I need to find a way to, express to this person, or even be honest with myself that I don't trust them, and really start to explore why I don't trust them. Why am I looking over the shoulder? What evidence have they really given me to feel this way? Is it my intuition that makes me feel this way? Or is it I'm really just ignoring signs, and the signs are really there, but I just didn't want to read them. I didn't want to really be honest with myself that I don't really trust this person. And now it's time to express that, because if you allow this person to remain in your life, and you allow this person to just continue to play a role in your life, I feel like it's just going to create a bigger and bigger problem, because it's not expressed, and you're going to end up having to repress so much stuff that it's going to create problems. So for you, my opinion here, my reading here is, you got to be honest and express to this person why you have trust issues, and what part of it is their fault and what part of it is your fault, and sort of weed that out and really talk about it. Up next here, we have the sacral chakra, we have a natural citrine, and we have the statement, I am powerful. And here we have the Page of Pentacles. The Page of Pentacles is all about the idea of learning and developing and creating new skills. There are a lot of times they're business related skills or financial skills of some sort, and becoming more financially literate and becoming more sort of goal oriented in terms of business and finances and taking care of your money. And so to me, this is a very powerful card, because what it's saying is you're moving in the right direction financially, and you're moving in the right direction in terms of your self-esteem, in terms of your personal power. Like, you sort of really believe that not only you are already a powerful person and you're in a powerful position, but even within, you can actually increase it or develop it or make it more fine-tuned. So this Page of Pentacles to me says that you are a very powerful person, that when you do things, they actually get done. And then you can continue to develop things and grow and really get things moving. And not only that, but you feel like you can get better at it. So it's like you're already good, and with the right amount of information and the right effort, you can actually go from good to great. So this is a really good card to see here in the sacral chakra, because I feel like you can use this to actually build momentum, and you can really build your power towards some sort of financial or maybe even some type of physical goal. So if you're looking to develop your body, if you're looking to maybe clean your home or build a new home, or something about your physical space or your physical body or your finances, I feel like you're in a great position to really make things happen. Okay, up next we have I am loving, and we have the Tower card. So to me, this card has a lot to do with these two here, where in your love life, there's sort of been some shock or some hit that you've taken, in terms of maybe you found out that maybe the person that you're in love with maybe you found something out about them, or you maybe sort of came across some new information, and your heart feels like it's sort of like cracked open. And so this could be a situation where your love life, or just your love for people in general, this could be a family thing too, where you sort of feel like you just got like this big hit or this big piece of information, and now you just have to start over. Like, you sort of like the blinders just came off, and now all of a sudden you can see things that you couldn't see before. And so what I would say here with this Tower card is, you know, like go through the motions, like go through it. Like don't try to like be naive and be like, well, you know, maybe it's not as bad as it is, or, you know, what if this or what if that? Like really ground yourself in reality and say, you know what? This person did something wrong and they hurt me. And I don't have to downplay that. I don't have to dismiss that. I need to tell the truth. Like, you know what? I'm hurt about this situation. Whatever this person did, they hurt me, and they need to know it. I need to know it, and I don't need to downplay it or just gloss over it. I needed to be honest, and I needed to be truthful, and really, really go through it and experience the emotions. Not trying to, not trying to repress the emotions, not trying to like drink the emotions away or anything like that, or downplay it, but really experience it so that it can be truly experienced, and then it can be healed. Because if you repress this, if you try to push this down or gloss over it, the pain is not going to go away. So do the best you can to live in the pain to as most you can tolerate, so that the more you fully experience the pain now, the less it's going to resonate later. Okay, so give yourself the time and effort to integrate this new information, so that whatever this situation is with this person that you may be in love with, or a close family member, whatever sort of maybe a sense of betrayal that you may have right now, you got to really go through the emotions, because if you repress it or downplay it or just write it off as, well, that's just how they are, or that's just who they are, but really give it the due time and healing that it needs, I feel like you'll have less repressed energy on the back end or later on in life. So go through it now instead of later. Up next here we have I am truthful, and we have the 10 of Wands reversed. And so to me, with this throat chakra, has a lot to do with you feel like you've been doing a lot for other people or someone else, maybe in particular, and they haven't been doing for you. Okay, so it's sort of feeling like, hey, I put out this energy, I do this work, I do these things for you, but you don't do the return. You're not giving me anything back here. And so it's just a sense of like, I'm giving, and you're just taking, and you're not giving back. And we're at the point now where I need to tell you this. And if I don't tell you this, I'm just going to keep feeling like I'm being taken advantage of. And so I need to, this is a lot to do with speaking and saying, look, you're taking away from me, you're draining me, you're not giving anything back to me. And that's not fair. We can't live like this for a long period of time. There is always a time and place for things to be off and a little bit out of balance, because one person may be in need. But in the long run, this we need to get this back in order, where there's a give and take, and you're not just taking from me at all times. Third eye, here we have I am guided. We have the 10 of Swords. To me, that represents that's the end of this relationship. So whatever's going on with this person who you can't trust and you can't move away from, and they may have broken your heart and be taking from you, this guidance is saying it's time for that to end. And so if you are in a relationship where someone may be hurting you, or someone may be untruthful, or maybe cheating, or whatever the case may be, this is a clear saying that this cycle of pattern needs to end. And one of the best ways to do it in your life, especially with this Queen of Swords coming up, is to cut this person off, okay? The longer that you keep this person around, the longer you allow this person to be in your life, I feel like there's someone who is going to continue to hurt you and continue to maybe not value you to where you really need to be. So I get the big theme of this reading here, and now we're at the Queen of Swords, but the big theme is there's someone in your life who has to go, and it's time for them to go. And they've sort of overstayed their welcome, and it's your job to let them know that. Okay, so 10 of Swords says the guidance you need right now in your life is to cut something off and allow it to be the end of the situation. Because this person has rented too much time from your life, and you can't get that time back. Up last we have I am connected here with the crown chakra. This is your way of being connected to other people, being connected to your higher self. The Queen of Swords is someone she's very great at removing stuff from her life. She gets rid of things that don't serve her highest interest. And what she's doing is creating new boundaries, and she's creating new expectations for the world. The Queen of Swords is really, really good at cutting and removing, getting rid of stuff. And so I feel like your guidance right now from your higher self It's the big deal is telling you it's time to cut things off. It's time to create new boundaries. And so you need to create new expectations for yourself as well. You need to teach people how you need to be treated. And so you sort of allow those lines to be blurry for whatever reason. And now is the time for you to get those lines back. Now is the time for you to reestablish boundaries so that people understand there's a certain way that you need to be treated and that they have no right to step over that. And that you are someone who's worthy of respect, someone who's worthy to be treated properly. And for whatever reason, someone in your life has decided that they haven't been treating you properly and they've decided that that's okay. And it's time for you to reestablish that boundary and say, you know what? It's not okay for you to treat me this way. And maybe it's time for you to leave my life. And maybe it's time to move on. So, you know, and this is a card, this is a big card saying it's not time for extra chances. It's not time for the 5th or 7th chance. Because I feel like this person is on they're not on their second chance. They're on another chance after that. And so the Queen of Swords, big deal. Your higher self, your connected self says, let's cut this thing off. Let's cut our losses. This thing's over and we're going to move on because this thing's not working and it's not worth the energy and time to repair it. Sometimes you got to throw something away and buy something new because repairing it is actually going to cost more and be more harmful than just getting something totally new. I'm Elijah Sun Card 19. Thank you for choosing this pile. Thank you for allowing me to read for you. Be sure to hit the thumbs up. Make sure you comment, subscribe, share, let people know about this channel and everything. I appreciate it. Love and light. Greetings, I'm Elijah Sun Card 19, and this is the Amethyst pile. So thank you for choosing this pile. Here we go. Okay, up first we have the King of Pentacles reversed with the Obsidian. We have the Four of Wands with the Carnelian. We have the Ten of Cups with the Natural Citrine, the Hierophant with the Malachite. We have the Fool with Lapis Lazuli. We have the Six of Cups with an amethyst, a serious amethyst. And we have the Six of Swords reversed with the clear quartz. Okay, so our first one here, we have I Am Safe with the Obsidian. And here we have the King of Pentacles reversed. And to me, this card has a lot to do with your finances. And so what this card says is you feel safe when your finances are in order. And so what is it that you need to do to get your finances together? What is it you need to do to pay people back and become debt free and really increase your finances? Because when your finances are safe, when your money's good, when you have the right amount of money and you're not like borrowing and barely making it every week or every other week, what this says to me is that's how you feel safe and secure. And so a big deal here is make sure that you're not just spending money on stupid things and just wasting your money. Feel like you're in a situation where you may have like some income, you may have decent income, but you're just spending it for some reason. And really you're gonna feel more safe and secure, and you're gonna feel more grounded when you actually save money. So sort of create a challenge with yourself and get to a point where you're actually saving money and you're not spending money just for no reason. And so, and you're really on a financial plan of some sort. So paying down debt, paying people back, getting to the point where you really have enough money to get to the end of your 2-week cycle. So living paycheck to paycheck. And so getting to a place where you're no longer living paycheck to paycheck and really finding out that there's ways to do it so you don't have to live paycheck to paycheck and you really can save money and really build wealth even with your current income. And so the more you're financially savvy, the more you're paying attention to your finances and getting your finances where they need to be, I feel like you'll be in a situation where you're going to feel more safe and secure, and that will put you in a better position in terms of just life in general. Okay, up next we have I Am Vibrant, and here we have the Four of Wands. And so what this card to me represents is someone who is very stable in their sexual life, someone who's very stable in their creative life, someone who is feels very supportive when they go to express themselves, someone who may actually be very family oriented, and someone who really enjoys being around family and really has a strong family life, and someone who probably as a parent, I would assume from this card being here, is someone who really has a strong family life and someone who is where they need to be in terms of being able to be creative, to be expressive, and to get to I feel like you really earned this place in your life where you're sexually expressing yourself the way you need to be, and you're very creative, and that has allowed you to have a strong family connection with other people in your life or your immediate family. Up next, here we have the natural citrine with the solar plexus. I am powerful. And here we have the 10 of Cups. And to me, this card has a lot to do with family life. And so both of the 4 Wands and 10 of Cups have strong family themes. And so I feel like you're probably in a committed relationship, maybe in a relationship that has children, and you're expressing these things properly because you're making long-term decisions and you're in a relationship with someone who is very long-term oriented. So very likely a marriage or someone who is maybe soon to be married. And so what I would say is you're doing a great job in this area of your life. I feel like this is very 2 strong cards next to each other, saying that you are you allow yourself to be sexually oriented the right way, in a healthy way, creative in the right way, and to be powerful and express to yourself that the family situation is important to you and that matters. And so that's a big deal, and I think that you're doing a great job in that area of your life. Up next, here we have the heart chakra. I am loving, here with the malachite, and we have the Hierophant. And the Hierophant has a lot to do with being a leader, and not only allowing yourself to be mentored, but allowing yourself to mentor other people. And so, and I feel like there's a strong case for you to take someone in younger than you, someone who is willing to listen. I feel like you have a lot to share in terms of just being an adult, in terms of having a loving family and a loving household, or even if you don't have those things yet, you're sort of developing and growing along that right way. And I feel like there's someone else or other people who are willing to sort of go along that journey with you. So I feel like there's a chance for you to take on a mentorship role for somebody, so you can get to a place where you're willing to help somebody and to develop somebody, maybe even 2 people or a couple of some sort. And so if somebody comes to you, or if a couple comes to you and they're seeking advice and they're seeking a place to express themselves, I feel like you're the right one to really help them and to really get them to where they need to be. And so be willing to take on a mentor role if that's something that interests you, because I feel like you have a lot to share, and I feel like you're going to be able to be willing to help and be able to help people. Up next here we have the Fool card, and so I am truthful. And so this card is a sort of a jovial card, and it's a playful card. It's a card that says, you know what, in terms of your creative expression, in terms of the way you speak to the world, this card says that you're sort of free-flowing and you allow yourself to sort of be limitless and not have boundaries, and someone who just allows yourself to just be able to speak and be creative. So I get a sense that you might be a little bit witty, you might be a little bit funny, and I want you to keep that and remain that way, so that you have fun expressing your ideas, and you're just someone who may be just really fun to be around. So make sure that you're willing to express your ideas and not put yourself in any kind of box, or not put yourself in a situation where you have to tailor things off and cut back in terms of how you express yourself and how creative you are and just how fun you may be. Up next, we have the crown chakra. I am guided. Here we have the 6 of Cups. To me, this is a call to your childhood or a call to your inner child. So this is saying that your inner child is guiding you. So if there was something that you wanted to do as a kid, if there was some activity or some fun that you wanted to have as a kid, or you feel like you've been called back to do something from your childhood. So if you have some childhood memory where, I always wanted to be a this, or I always wanted to be a that, or, something like that of that nature, if you are being called back to that, go ahead and answer that call and allow that to guide you. So that sense of, when I was a kid, I always wanted to do this, or I want to return to my hometown, or whatever the case may be, allow yourself to find that guidance. Overall, the 6 of Cups is a very loving card, and I feel like it reflects the other parts of the reading where the family is very, very strong to you and it really matters. And so, that's a continuation of that support. And so if you do have a situation where maybe even if a child in your life has some sort of adventure that they want to go on, and they want to try something crazy or new and it seems exciting, then this is sort of a confirmation for you to do that as well. So you're either going to return to some childhood dream, some childhood place, or you're going to allow some child in your life to be really creative and express themselves. And last here with the crown chakra, we have I am connected, and we have the Six of Swords reversed. Okay, so this card has a lot to do with creating order in your life. And so the world outside of your home may seem chaotic. And so, or maybe even inside your home may seem chaotic at times, especially if you have kids. This card is about just creating order. So wherever you see chaos and sort of things that are maybe in disarray, this is saying that you can connect, and maybe your bigger purpose in life right now is to put things in order. And so that may mean different things. That may mean your household, keeping your house clean, keeping the kids, keeping a routine, make sure that there's boundaries, make sure there's expectations, make sure things are being going where they need to be. But in the bigger sense of life, maybe your career, maybe even your family, extended family, your community, what the case may be, is creating order from chaos. So you might look at a situation and be like, man, this thing is all over the place. It's just crazy, why, and you may be able to see certain ways for things to be in order. And you may look at it and say, you know what, this thing would flow a lot better if this, or this, whatever those things may be. And so I feel like you're somebody who may be able to see ways that, or even patterns, or just sort of different ways of doing things. You may be able to see that and be able to tell other people like, hey, wait a second. I think this thing will flow a lot easier, a lot better, and be much more orderly and less chaotic if we did this thing. So you may have like 3 or 4 examples of ways, or in your life, or just in the bigger life and community or your job, whatever the case may be. You just have ways to give suggestions to people so that they can be in a space where there's just order from chaos. Basically, is the theme of the card. Things to become much more orderly, timely, less steps, more efficient. I feel like you're good at that, and you'll be able to take that ability and apply it to other areas of your life. So just look for ways to simplify stuff so that there's less confusion, so that there's less steps, and that it just, things become more efficient, and that'll be helpful to you and other people. So this just feel like it's a skill of yours that you may not be using right now that actually could help people out. And just to round it off back to this King of Pentacles, this could be financially related. So as you simplify your finances, as you get your finances in order and you create order from chaos, you get yourself grounded where you want to be financially, you'll be able to go on and help other people do the same. So big connection there between the first and seventh chakra. I'm Elijah Sun Card 19. Thank you for choosing this pile. Thank you for letting me read for you. Make sure you hit the thumbs up, comment, subscribe, share, and I appreciate you being here and watching this. Many blessings to you. Love and light. Okay, here we go. Those who chose the clear quartz cluster, here's your reading. Okay, up first here we have the obsidian. We have the judgment card. This is the affirmation, I am safe. And so with the judgment card, has a lot to do with you following your calling in life. And so this card has a lot to do with you answering like your biggest dreams. Say, you know what? I want to do this. I want to do that. And the way that you're going to feel safe is by really following your dreams and really taking them out and saying, you know what? I'm really being called to do this thing or do that thing in my life. And I'm going to answer the call. And so every now and then you hear stories of people who are like, you know what? That person really like wanted to do something with their life and they did it. They went on and went to the next level and they took themselves to that next level. They really did this thing and like they really answered the call of their soul. They really feel like, you know what? I'm an actor or I'm an actress or I'm a lawyer. I'm a performer. I'm a singer. I'm a comedian. I'm a thing. I'm something. And you know what? I'm going to explore that. I'm going to take it to the next level and I'm going to really become that thing. So it's a big deal here that the way that you're going to feel safe and secure in life is by answering that call. So if you sort of downplay your wishes and hopes and dreams, if you sort of downplay the soul callings that you have, then I feel like you're going to pay a price for that. So make sure that if you have the urge or you're feeling like really called to do something in your life, that you really answer that call. Up next, we have Carnelian, and this is the sacral chakra. This one says, I am vibrant. Okay, so here we have the Five of Pentacles, and it's a card that sort of feels like finances are just not where they need to be. And I think that once you get your finances in order and you're taking care of yourself financially, then you'll be able to express yourself in a creative way, and you may actually improve your love life and sex life too here. So a lot of times the stress of not having enough money, or not having your finances in order, can carry over to other areas of your life. So I feel like you're not being able to be creative, expressive, and you may not necessarily be sexually expressive because you may be in a situation where you're more concerned with your finances, and the stress that not having your finances in order, that stress can carry over to other parts of your life. Next here we have the solar plexus chakra, and this is a natural citrine. We have the Two of Pentacles. And what this card says, I am powerful, is the affirmation here. And this card is about being balanced in life. And so finding ways to balance like work and play. I feel like you're doing a great job of keeping things in order, making sure that you're not overworking yourself, make sure you're not playing too much. So work hard, play hard. I feel like things are in order in terms of this solar plexus here, this power center of your life, that you do have a healthy balance between work and play, and you're keeping things in the right place, and you're sort of keeping things where they need to be. So make sure you don't overwork yourself, but make sure you're not playing too much as well. So keep that balance and keep this thing in order. So I feel like this may be one of the more successful chakras that you may have right now, that's being expressed and is really doing what it needs to do. Okay, up next here we have the heart chakra. I am loved, or I am loving. And so we have the Empress card, and Empress card reversed. To me, this card has a lot to do with a relationship with your mother, or you as a mother. So this card says that that there's a part of your life that needs to be addressed and it needs to be healed. So if you have a poor relationship with your mother, or sort of a strained relationship with your mother, I feel like you're being called to heal that. Or it doesn't have to be your mother. It could be a motherly figure. Someone, it could be an aunt or someone, a grandparent. But someone who's in a role of healing, someone who's in a loving role in your life, someone who's supposed to be that just nurturing figure. For some reason, you guys are not on the same page, and you guys aren't maybe not even speaking, or whatever the case may be. And I feel like you need to heal that relationship. It's a big deal, and maybe it doesn't feel like it needs to be healed, but maybe it could be improved. And so if it's sort of just like it's sort of just iffy, it's not really great, it's not really bad, but it's just sort of there, that's also calling to improve it, to really pour into it and give it the energy that it needs. So what I would say here is, and if it's not a situation with you with a motherly figure, then it may be you as a motherly figure. So if you have some children that your relationship with them is not where it needs to be the one to initiate it, be the one to kick it in gear. Because so I feel like the love center of your life is someone who, this is a situation where you can really make some gains in life by either healing this relationship or improving this relationship. So it's a real big deal here. Next here we have the throat chakra with the lapis lazuli. This was a malachite, by the way. A lapis lazuli here with the throat chakra, and the affirmation here is, I am truthful. And here we have the Four of Swords. To me, this card just sort of indicates a need for rest, a need to talk less. And so you may be someone who's overexpressing yourself, someone who's doing a lot of talking, but not a lot of actions behind the talk. So it's like, let your actions in life be the words you use. So in this case, talk less, but say more. And so what that means is, make sure that you're not just rambling, that you're actually saying what needs to be said. You're being urgent. Make sure that you're being expedient, and you're not just like talking just for no reason and just overexpressing yourself. And so there is a point where you do talk too much and you sort of talk in circles, and make sure that the words you say and the words you use are useful and they're valuable, and you're not just talking for no reason. Okay, so this card is like, tone it down a little bit. You may be talking too much. Let's slow down. Let's get this thing right. So then you're not just overexpressing yourself, and you're not spinning your wheels in the mud. Up next here we have the third eye chakra with the affirmation, I am guided. We have the King of Cups reversed. And so what this card is, King of Cups reversed has a lot to do with not being guided. The King of Cups is reversed is a card about just floating out there and not really having true direction in your life. And what this King of Cups to me says that let's pick some goals. Let's get action oriented. Let's say, I want this specific goal. I want to measure it in this way. I'll be able to, I'm hold myself accountable. I can, the way that I can measure it, the way that I can, it has a time on it. It's very specific. It's something that I can really trace it, and I can even talk to other people about. But this card says, get some goals, write it down, tell people what the goals are, and get after it. Start moving in that direction. Become more goal oriented. So what I would say here with the King of Cups is stop like just floating, stop being wishy-washy, pick something, make a decision, go with it, go after it. So this sort of just saying like, don't be fluffy this week, or don't be fluffy right now, because this card is saying it's time for you to pick a direction and just go. Along here with this Four of Swords is maybe something where it's like you've been talking about it for a while. You've been sort of, saying, well, I want to do this thing or I want to do that thing, and you're talking about it, but you're not actually doing it. So let's talk more direction, more goals, more getting things done. Stop talking about it, really get it done. Clear quartz here with the crown chakra. I am connected. We have the Hermit card. This is a call to adventure. The Hermit is someone who's on a journey, someone who's trailblazing, and this really wraps back to this Judgment card. This is someone who's really answering the call to adventure in their life. And what they can do is, what you can do is really seek that adventure. This Judgment card back here was saying you're somebody who's going to feel safe and secure when you follow your dreams, when you follow your heart, when you become the person you really become, like you really want to be. And so that inner calling, like, you know what, I'm this thing that I am, I'm going to become that thing and really show the world. And this Hermit card is saying it's time to answer that call. And so what the Hermit card is saying is go on that adventure. Answer the call of your soul so that you can become that thing you need to be. And as you become that thing, as you connect to other people and connect to the world, become this thing, you answer this call to adventure. As you do that, you're going to be supported, and you're going to give other people permission to do the same. And so you become sort of this leader, this sort of trailblazer, where it's like, you know what? Not only am I in a situation where I'm following my heart, I'm following my soul, I'm doing this thing, I'm going, I'm trusting that the universe will support me as I do this thing. Not only am I being this situation, I'm living this life, I'm going to give other people permission to do the same. And so I'm going to become better at following my heart, and other people are going to pay attention. They're going to see it. They're like, you know what? This person is doing a great job at really following their dreams, and they're going and they're being supportive. It's actually working for them, and they're not having to downplay their life. They're not having to work a job they don't want to be in, and they're not necessarily having to be miserable as some sort of sacrifice so that they can have other things. They're actually doing the things they want to do and living their life, and they're being connected to other people and to the world in general. And so from here, they're in a situation where, you're like really time to like pour gas on it and say, let's do this thing. Let's trailblaze this thing. Let's move. And as you do that, you give other people in the rest of your life and other people in the world permission to do the same. Also, I would like for you, as you go along this journey, as you trailblaze, I would just say make sure that you sort of document and share your experiences with other people, because I think you're going to be really inspirational as you start to build and grow and develop, and you're supported and living the life you really want to live. I think you're going to give other people a great chance to do the same. I'm Elijah Sunkar 19. Thank you for choosing this pile. Thank you for allowing me to read for you. Make sure you hit the like, the thumbs up button, you comment, subscribe, share this video. I appreciate you being here. Many blessings to you. Love and light. Peace.